myself. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to another edition of the local show here on GrassRoots Community Network. I am Eric Scarvin, your host. Guys, I hope your new year is going well. We're almost to the halfway point of the ski season. We're in a chilly time at the end of January, but we're going to warm it up today because we've got the director. She's actually the manager of the Pitkin County Solid Waste Center, otherwise known as the Pitkin County Landfill. Cathy Hall is back on the show.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Cathy.
Yeah, is this about my sixth time, I think, or something?
If you lose count after a while.
I do. It's been a lot.
Like the years fly by, the shows are flying by.
Yep.
Like we were talking off camera, you've already been at the landfill for 12 years.
12 years.
That's incredible. We've got our dog, Marley.
Hi, Marley.
She's still getting her like TV legs on,
Well.
She's a little excited today. So welcome, Marley. Thanks for being our co-host today. And thank you guys for tuning in this week. And so much to catch up on with the landfill. You guys always have new things going on. You are an award-winning facility, which is interesting to say about a landfill, which we grew up calling it the dump, right?
Don't call it the dump.
Not the dump. This is not the dump. This has actually moved on to the Solid Waste Center.
Mm-hmm.
And let's start with your staff, because, I mean, one of the things that makes us, not to be corny, but one of the things that makes this community great is the people. And every time, literally, I go out there, everyone's so nice.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to your staff. And can you just elaborate on the people that work there?
Yeah, there's 22 of us. A lot of them grew up in Aspen or in that valley here. I've been longtime locals. In all of my career, I've never had such an awesome crew. And they were gelled, and they know what they're doing, and they don't really need me. So, yeah.
So, like, when you leave today, you're pretty cool with, things will carry on.
Oh, yeah. They got
Aaron
it.
will be there at this entry, what do you call that, the way
yeah.
station, and
Yeah.
Natalie's there at the
Natalie's at the Mercantile.
Or Mercantile.
Yeah.
We were debating that last time.
That's right.
Potato, and Mercantile.
I'm a mercantile. I say mercantile, so
You're
yeah.
into the teal.
No, they've been a long-time crew.
That's such a big part of that.
People have averaged about 7 years employment there, so long
That's
time.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So when you go out there, and we're going to talk about all the reasons
Mm-hmm.
people do want to go out there. One of them, shopping. Because, like, the Mercantile is a great deal. Like, not to be a poet, and I don't even know it, but it is. There's great deals. I've gotten so many things out of there, athletic gear, brand new picture frames for like $6. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about the Motherlode Mercantile?
Yeah,
for
so
folks who are not
that's going on
familiar?
almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in June.
Wow.
And record year again. So they've kept all sorts of goodies out of the landfill, found good homes for them. Yesterday, somebody came up and bought 150 pairs of skis. I went out to my car and I was like, "Where'd all the skis go?" And they make furniture, so
$1
$1
like
a
those
ski,
Adirondack chairs and
Yeah.
benches and all that stuff. Very cool.
And Natalie runs it. She's working with a group that asked for home goods like plates and cups and just dishware to take out to LA for the fires because people lost everything.
Yeah.
So they're going to transport a lot of that stuff out there.
Right.
Good cause.
So that's one great reason to get out there. Check out the latest and greatest at the Mercantile. And also, you guys have this new. Tell us a little bit about the Penny Prospector. That's kind of a new program.
It is. So Penny Prospector is our new mascot. You're going to see her roll out more. She's a little mining girl.
Oh, nice.
So she's going to be teaching lessons on waste diversion and composting and all the good things we do. So, yeah, Penny Prospector. And
does she hang out with Jack Aspen?
She does. Jack Aspen is her sidekick. And, we kept the mascot from the Motherlode Mercantile, and she's going to be her sidekick.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, you guys have all these characters, like in your messaging. You've got the string bean orchestra. You've got the pairs talking about, these different kind of themes, and you guys really make it fun. What are some of the things that you love most, and a couple of the biggest challenges as the director?
Oh yeah.
Or manager.
The things I love the most is our unique diversion. So we talked about the Mercantile, but we also have things like books. people have a lot of books, and before we had a collection program for them, we'd have to trash them. We had nothing to do, and I hated that. So we partner with EcoCycle out of Boulder, and they go to fund a low-income reading program.
Okay.
We also do mattresses. How hard is it to get rid of a mattress? We recycled 1,990 mattresses last year.
Wow! Can you
People have
imagine
a lot of
what
mattresses.
space that takes up? Like,
Oh yeah,
or
it's
would have taken up at the landfill.
yeah, it saved like 3,000 cubic yards of landfill airspace
Oh
by
my
just
gosh.
getting them out and to a better use.
What are some of the biggest challenges?
Construction demolition debris.
Yeah.
I mean, that is 50 to 54% of our waste that comes in and gets buried.
It's incredible.
It is, it's unheard of. So dealing with that, we have to compact it. You know, it's hard on equipment, and it just, the space in landfill, we're limited space. So, you know, there's not going to be another landfill in Pitkin County for sure.
Right.
So,
And we're going to talk about the expansion of the landfill in the main body of the show, and the compactor, because that compactor is a serious piece of equipment.
95,000 pounds.
Wow! So that literally is what is crushing things down, obviously to save space and make the most efficient use of the landfill.
Right.
This is compactor machine.
It's all it does. Its job, it just runs over and smushes trash.
Wow!
Yeah, because we're in the business of selling space.
Exactly.
So put your unwantables anymore, you know.
All right.
back in.
We're going to take a quick break, Cathy, and we're going to get to the main body of the show where we can elaborate on these ideas like recycling. We're going to talk about composting. We're going to talk about the landfill's expansion. Very much needed because it was down to just a few years to go.
Yep, coming up
Especially
quick.
with all that C&D, construction and demolition material.
Yeah.
So we do want to thank our underwriters for making this series happen. I like to say paralleling the ski season from mid-November to mid-April. We've got Haiti Children, Klug Properties, Local Spirits, Paradise Bakery, Pitkin County Solid Waste Center, Sundog Athletics, and the Wheeler Opera House. We're going to go to our only break of the show, guys. We'll be back in 2 minutes with Cathy Hall, our solid waste manager, so don't go away.
Located in the heart of Aspen, the Wheeler Opera House is rooted in community and recognized globally, presenting live entertainment from comedy and music to dance and theater. Visit WheelerOperaHouse.com for a full schedule of events.
Living in Aspen is more than just owning a home. It's about embracing a way of life. I'm Chris Klug, and I've spent my life immersed in everything this mountain community has to offer, from skiing and snowboarding to art and culture. I understand what makes Aspen special. Discover the Aspen lifestyle with a broker who truly understands it.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Locally owned and operated, Local Spirits has low prices, a convenient location next to Exxon gas station with parking, and is Aspen's exclusive cigar dealer. 3% back with our loyalty program. Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialists since 1996. Brought to you by Paradise Bakery and Gelateria, serving Aspen for 42 years.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Thanks for sticking with us this week on The Local Show, a show we shoot every Wednesday here at GrassRoots Studio, here at the Red Brick Center for the Arts in Aspen. I'm joined this week by friend and guest, Cathy Hall. She is our solid waste manager at Pitkin County Solid Waste Center, otherwise known as Pitkin County Landfill. And Cathy, we were talking about some of the ideas like recycling, reusing, repurposing, some of those items from the mercantile in particular. You guys, if you were queen for a day, and your first decree would be, like if you were queen of, say, Pitkin County, which also governs over our landfill.
Yes.
And you had your first decree, your ultimate wish, you could just wave your scepter, what would that be?
My ultimate wish is to get people away from single-use plastics.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
The recyclability of them is terrible. Only about 9% actually gets recycled.
Oh my gosh. Of all single use?
Yeah.
I know like single-use water bottles, hardly any are.
Right. So single-use plastics, about 9% really get.
Wow. Which means all that stuff, about 90% ends up in the environment somewhere.
Exactly. So
I love that wish.
that's my wish. I hate it.
What would be a couple practical steps to take in that direction?
Well, a lot of, if you're on a road trip and you stop to get a drink and you forget your water bottle, buy it in an aluminum can. First and foremost, aluminum is infinitely recyclable.
Even better than glass.
It's even better than glass.
Okay.
So, but make sure it gets into the recycle, because they'll recycle aluminum all day long. It has a good commodity value. Glass is probably second.
Okay.
Then plastic should be your last option. So
Right.
think about what you're purchasing.
So along with that, if demand goes down, manufacturers should also respond, correct? Which they're already doing. So can you speak to that? Because, if we lower demand, what does that do?
Well,
we have to look at the production of this stuff.
it'll force them to shift, but Colorado just adopted an extended producer responsibility. So the Coca-Colas, the Pepsi, the bottlers that bottle all these drinks in plastic bottles now have to pay a fee to improve recycling systems in Colorado.
Nice.
So that's a great start. But again, if you can avoid generating it, that's the best thing you can do.
Right. Well, big in the news this last year was we were down to, 5 or 6 years of life left in the landfill because of this incredible development that happened, especially during COVID, when we had the urban refugees that we've all known about, coming in, investing here, raising properties left and right, sometimes brand new homes, just being thrown into the landfill. The entire Sky Hotel went into the landfill to make room for the W.
Yep.
So speak to that, because that was a process you went through to get that expansion. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we closely work with the state and our engineering firm, but we were down to just a minuscule amount of life. It will happen really quick. So we got the state, we're working through it now, but they've agreed, you need an expansion. So we're planning on what we're calling the South expansion.
Okay.
And it'll add, if it's all permitted, 70 years of life.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
So
how much land is that?
It's a lateral expansion, so it's right next to it. It's kind of in a canyon field, so it's hard to say.
An acreage, is it hundreds of acres?
No, it's probably about 60 acres, but again, you're filling in like a V-shaped canyon. So.
Okay.
And it's at the landfill. We're not buying new property.
Okay.
But the big problem was that there's a lot of landfill airspace. If you've been to the landfill where the scale house and the motherlode mercantile are, that's going to be landfill. So we went out for a bond issue, and thank you, Pitkin County voters, 84% passed.
That's
and
strong.
It's giving us money to be able to do all this all at once, and it's cost effective.
Right.
So they're going to be a new mercantile, new scale house, new household hazardous waste facility. So in a couple years, things will look very, very different out there.
And you guys had done a new building for the equipment in the last couple years, correct? What was that like in terms of what does that facility look like? Because you have compactors and major equipment out there.
Yeah, so half of the building is a fully functional fleet workshop, because a 95,000-pound compactor doesn't just roll down the road to our public works facility. So it's all designed that equipment can be pulled in. The other side is parking, so in this bitter cold weather, we can pull all of the equipment in and cover it and keep it warm for the next morning. And then there's our crew room, so
And you guys have, I talked about award-winning. One of the award-winning programs is Scraps. Can you tell people about Scraps if they don't know yet about our food composting and organic composting program?
So we had the second, now the third, Waste Management on the Front Range permitted a compost facility, not just the third. We composted this year around 16,000 tons.
Wow.
And a good chunk of that is food waste. City of Aspen last year, or a little over a year ago, adopted a food waste ban for restaurants.
Nice.
So food waste grew by 70% growth, which is great because you want food waste out of the landfill and into a compost program.
Right.
So, yeah.
Multiple benefits because that creates methane, right? Methane is one of the most destructive greenhouse gases.
Plus, you're taking this good resource that can be made in compost to amend your soils. Locally, we do it, and it goes back out local, and it helps retain water in the soils.
Well, elaborate on that because that goes into the potting soil and garden soils, right?
Yeah, so
Can you describe that program?
our great finished compost gets mixed in with a topsoil and a potting soil product, and we sell that like crazy. So, and it's a really great price compared to if you went to a garden center. So it's good stuff.
It goes full, is that called like full, there's some name for that, right?
Full circle. Yeah. Circular economy, I guess.
Circular economies. Starts as food, goes back to growing food.
Exactly.
And you complete the circle.
You just do it over and over and over.
And I've actually used a lot of that in my little 3 foot by 4 foot garden that I have in front of my condo.
Yeah.
And it just grows stuff like crazy.
I mean,
Talk about miracle grow.
Yeah, we sample and test it, so nothing gets sold until it passes the standard for testing assurance from the U.S. Compost Council. So it's really, really good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
The new waste diversion plan. What does that look like? That's a mouthful. But you guys are looking to divert more and more of this construction and demolition waste, correct?
And municipal solid waste, everything, yeah. So we're calling it 50 by 30. We have a goal of 50% diversion by 2030. And that is, right now we're at about a 42% diversion.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah, we're pretty close, but there's some things we got to knock out. So we got to get more food waste out of the garbage. That's the biggest by weight. There's just a lot of cardboard. There's still a lot of stuff going into the landfill that could be recycled.
Oh, so this is total diversion, not just construction material.
Yeah,
diversion.
we're looking more municipal solid waste.
Okay.
The construction already has the Green Halo program, we call it, or sustainable sites. It's not rebranded. So yeah, it's a lot of communities call it a zero waste plan.
Okay.
We opted not to do that because zero waste is really hard to get to.
Right.
And it sets you up for disappointment. So 50 by 30, and we're going to be presenting to the Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday, the plan. So they'll be seeing it.
Isn't there a higher percentage by 2050?
By 2040, we're aiming for 75%.
Okay, because it graduates to higher percentages as the decades go on.
Exactly.
More and more diverted away from the landfill.
Right, and when we ran the numbers, the greenhouse gas diversion is amazing by keeping a lot of this out of the landfill and getting it reused.
Right.
So, and
we're a pretty consumptive area, aren't we? To say the least.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, when you look at the airport, something like 82% of the traffic is private jets. Right there, it's going to be consumptive, right?
I mean, it's
like a Godzilla-like footprint on the environment.
Oh, when the economy's good, you can tell it in the trash. There's just more trash generated. So, yeah.
More stuff. Well, let's talk about that too, and we're down to 5 minutes already. But there's a part of refuse, reduce, recycle, reuse? I don't know. What are those?
I said reduce, reuse, refuse, and then recycle.
Talk about refuse.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about this materialistic way to live, talk about the buying decision right there at the point of purchase.
Right. There's a great documentary on Netflix called Buy Now.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, watch it because it goes into the consumption.
Yeah.
And, they had the CEO of Adidas on there, and he's like, we were getting people to buy sneakers and sweatshirts, and he's like, how many people need another pair of sneakers? And he has a lot of guilt over it. It's just like, I try and do it as like, do I really need this? No. Do I want that dopamine fix? I try and drill into why I'm really buying it.
Right. So really ask yourself those questions.
Yeah. And buy quality over quantity. It may cost a little bit more up front, but it's going to last you a lot longer. You look at fast fashion, the clothing. Clothing is designed to only, the cheap clothing is designed to only last about 5 wears.
That's what you said, I think, at a past show about a T-shirt, right? It
Yeah.
gets an average of 4 or 5
wears
times where you wear it.
And then it just falls apart, or
Right.
it's out of style.
Or it just is made to be disposable.
Yeah, that's
just falls
what it
apart,
is.
like you say.
And that is,
That's crazy.
yeah, the statistics on that is crushing. So, yeah.
Wow.
So just think
There's
about
also
it'll
another-
end up in a landfill.
There's another great doc on Netflix called Happy. It's a documentary about happiness and how materialism gives you that temporary kind of pleasure, or you can call it, I guess, happiness, but it's more of just a feeling of dopamine rush. And then you kind of get bored, and then it's off to buy the next thing. It's
Right.
kind of like filling this black
Right.
hole with stuff
Yeah.
that never gets filled, right?
I mean, I've done it. I mean, I've been like, ooh, that looks
We
fun.
all do it. But can we do it a little less of that
smarter.
maybe in the new year?
Working in solid waste, I've 30 years now or so. It's just everything I touch and throw away. I'm like, can I do something better with this? And it's yeah.
And one of the sources of happiness in Scandinavia, where they have the happiest countries on the planet, Finland, Denmark, Norway, they live like IKEA. They have like a table, a chair, a coat. You know, they keep it really clean. It also relates to feng shui, your energy flow. So there's a lot in there about materialism that we could get by with a lot less.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk about the new plastic film recycling program, another new program. Film recycling?
Yes.
People use film? Film, like, to explain film.
Bubble wrap, the
think
soft
about-
plastics. Not camera film.
Not camera film.
Soft plastics.
Okay.
Those are not recyclable in your single stream system.
Okay.
So it tangles up equipment. They don't want it. So there is a company out of Pueblo, Colorado called Driven Plastics. And they take that soft plastic film. We collect it separate. There's a drop bin at Aspen City Hall, and we have one at the landfill.
Nice.
And they will flake it up and use it in asphalt, replace a virgin polymer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so it is going to pave Colorado roads.
So again, back to the reuse, repurpose.
Exactly. And it's something nothing we could do with, So.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So where can people find out more and your website?
Landfillrules.com.
Landfill Rules.
So there's all sorts of information. We're updating the website, so it's
Does that
pretty
mean
updated.
the landfill rules?
Yeah.
Or it's the rules of the landfill?
I think you could take it either way, potato or potato. So yeah,
Landfill Rules.
landfillrules.com.
Cathy, I baked for you because I knew that was most of the reason you showed up today.
Yeah,
Was,
and I love how you reuse the apple bags.
see how I upcycled it for a greater use?
And you know what?
My
when
cookies
I'm
are
done
better
with
than those
it,
apples.
I will put it in the plastic film.
There you go.
It'll be made into an asphalt road. Thank you.
Did you have fun on the show
I
today?
did. Always do.
It's always so much fun
Yeah.
to have you. It's always a pleasure. I thank you so much for all you do for our community and for supporting the local show.
Yeah. Anytime.
And,
We're here for you.
Yeah, stop on by, guys, to the landfill. Say hi to Cathy and their great staff. And thanks for watching this week on The Local Show.
Located in the heart of Aspen, the Wheeler Opera House is rooted in community and recognized globally, presenting live entertainment from comedy and music to dance and theater. Visit WheelerOperaHouse.com for a full schedule of events.
Community is at the heart of Aspen, and I take great pride in being a part of it. I'm Chris Klug, and as a lifelong Aspen resident, my connection to this community runs deep. My involvement in local events and charities isn't just about giving back. It's about staying in tune with the community I love. Allow me to help you find your place in our incredible community together.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialists since 1996.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
The show for the station.
Just listen, man. Just feel this. Just feel this.
Something that goes with that.
That's beautiful. You guys, we gotta do something that like hits the, you know, like that gets out there among the people. Something.
I want to do a show. I want to do a show about organic cooking with my organic vegetable garden, you know, and do a thing about that. I think people need to know about it.
No, we got to do a TV show.